DECONSTRUCTION.
What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/the Hardy Construction with your host, Comp, and
Prune 2.
It was really an offensive joke that Danny just... Anyway, today's film is...
Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween 8, I guess, right?
Yes, Halloween Resurrection from 2002, directed by Rick Rosenthal, who surprisingly he directed Halloween 2, though, the original one. I didn't know that. I thought...
I guess he lost his touch.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I thought, what's-his-face had directed the first two films? John Carpenter, but I guess I was wrong. Anyway, 3 years after he last terrorized his sister, Michael Myers confronts her again before traveling to Haddonfield to deal with the cast and crew of a reality show which is being broadcast from his old home. Stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Busta Rhymes, Brad Lorre, let me see, Bianca Kodjlik, who plays the main character in this,
Tyra Banks.
and with special guest Sean Patrick Thomas. Like, they had to put that there. Anyway, so this film, we picked this because it's October, and we're trying to pick all the shittier movies from
the classics,
the cult classic horror icons, and I think we picked a really good shitty one.
Yeah,
so this film,
nice.
What's your history with Halloween Resurrection?
I'd never seen it. Halloween's like my weakest one as far as the classics go. I've seen, a few of them. I know the first one, obviously, and like a couple of random little bits and pieces, but this one I think I was lucky to not have seen it, maybe.
Why is
or
it you
not
feel
remember
you
it at least.
Why do you feel like you don't connect with the Halloween franchise?
Because he's essentially the same thing as Jason, and Jason, I guess I just knew of it, longer or something, so I just liked it more. But the first Halloween movie is like a unique thing, but then they just get into like he's essentially just Jason, pretty much.
Halloween, the first one, I dare say, is more cinematic. Like, it feels closer to
it's a good movie. Like, it
Halloween,
is. And I
the
think it
first
actually
one,
came before Jason.
Yeah, the thing is with Halloween, the first Halloween, comparatively, is light years beyond creatively, the way it looks and the way it's filmed, than any probably Jason film ever made. Although Jason films are a lot more entertaining in a way.
Yeah, they're fun.
Do you
they're
know
fun.
what I mean?
This was not fun.
So this was going into the reality film craze. It's before its time, and I can imagine the guys who invented, because the character, we're jumping ahead in time, but there's characters that use mini cams on them over their heads, like headsets.
Like the worst quality mini cams.
Oh
too.
yeah, really? Because I mean, this show's in the time. This is 2002, so this is about 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And it shows how, like, they must have shit their pants when people have come out with GoPro, which basically is, a mini cam that you can kind of strap on, and they're billionaires, whoever invented GoPro. So I guess that shows you just perfect something that is already out there, and you will be rich beyond your wildest dreams. Mm-hmm. Twitter turns into Snapchat. Snapchat turns into whatever else there is. But Halloween Resurrection is a direct sequel to Halloween H2O, which, for the life of me... Did you see Halloween H2O or no?
I think I did see that one, actually, but I don't remember it. Like
Halloween H2O was the 20-year anniversary, and it was a direct sequel to Halloween 2. And it was mostly... I was watching some video footage. You can find it on YouTube. Jamie Lee Curtis, who I like more now because I've been watching Scream Queens, which you can't stand, but I love that show.
I mean, I like her, I like her as an actress. She's great in True Lies and all that kind of shit, but...
Oh, yeah. I had a confused boner during True Lies because her face I couldn't get into, but her body...
Oh, when she's doing the stripping and stuff, like for the secret agent that she doesn't know.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was horrible because I was watching that. I saw that movie with my mom because I was younger, and then that part where I was like, what was it, Bill Paxton, he's selling the car. He's like the car salesman, and he's talking about how he's trying to fuck Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife. And he's like, you got to sell him the vet. The vet makes them wet. And I was like, oh, no. Like, you don't want to hear anything sexual in movies. Like, I just wanted to run
now
through
with
the
your
screen,
mom.
but, yeesh. So anyway, what was I talking about? So Halloween H2O had, supposedly, Jamie Lee Curtis says that she had called up the original director of Halloween, and she was like, listen, and the original producer, and she was like, "Why don't we do something different with Halloween? Let's make a sequel." I'm talking about H2O right now, and it's going to lead into the Resurrection. But she said, "Let's do this sequel because we're all still here. We can make this film." And she was the only one that ended up being back on board. Mustafa Akkad. This is why I was laughing at the beginning of the episode because I don't know if Danny's going to repeat this joke.
I'm not going to repeat the joke.
Akkad, Mustafa Akkad, who was the guy, I guess he holds the rights for Michael Myers films, like Halloween franchise, and he's been produced. That's why there's so many Halloween films. And Halloween H2O kind of ignored part 3 through 6 because Halloween H2O was part 7, right. And
well, wasn't 3 like completely unrelated? Like
that's true. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know when. I guess Mustafa Khan must have had the rights from the beginning. And so anyway, So it ignored 3 through 6 because I think 6 people say is the worst one out of all of them because it dealt with some kind of cult angle and Michael Myers actually being evil, like from.
Yeah, I was reading. He's like a pure evil named like Thorn or something. Like the name of the demon is Thorn.
All I remember is that when they would show it on TV, because they would show like a baby at the beginning. Like I guess it was Michael Myers being blessed by the cult or something in some way, and it was like a naked baby, and then they had to blur the baby's genitals on TV. And I always thought it was funny because it was like it was gonna blow people's minds to see like a baby's genitals. They would also
someone would blow something to see the baby's genitals.
It would be Jared from Subway, but it was like also although no, we're wrong. I guess Jared liked young girls, but also Dragon Ball. Whenever you'd watch that on TV, they'd have Son Goku come out as a little boy, and then they would like digitally put a tree in front of his penis. It was always so horrible. Anyway, so. With H2O, Jamie Lee Curtis was claiming that she had spearheaded, let's do this movie, so they wrote that film. And eventually, in the script, they have her kill Michael Myers at the end. She was like, I want to kill Michael Myers at the end. And Kevin Williamson, who wrote the Scream franchise, Scream franchise, and I know what you did last summer. He did the adaptation of the book. And Dawson's Creek. So he was like a real hot writer back in the day. He wrote that film. I didn't like the film that much, and Michael Myers' mask was like fucking horrible. It looked like it was like one of the worst. It was like if I could imagine, when you put a coin to get those cheap toys at a supermarket out of like those little toy things, it looks like that kind of mask. It was just awful. Like if they could fit that kind of mask in there. So anyway, the only thing that I liked about H2O was when he was suspending himself over people from like the rafters, and he would lean himself down with one arm extension. It's a move that they used in this one as well. Right. So Jamie Lee Curtis is like, I need to kill Michael Myers. So Kevin Williams is like, okay, we'll fool the audience into thinking that you killed Michael Myers at the end.
You can't kill Michael Myers because he's a demon.
Right. Because apparently, because Mustafa Akkad has it in the paperwork that you cannot kill Michael Myers because he wants to keep making money with this shit.
Yeah.
So at the end of that one, she decapitates Michael Myers with an axe, and
but it's not really Michael Myers.
It's not really Michael Myers. In this one, in the sequel, it's directly referencing that film because it starts out with a lunatic asylum, or sorry, that's politically incorrect. A crazy person place, and it has Jamie Lee Curtis locked. This is also, it's funny because Jamie Lee Curtis is claiming that she thought this up, because I thought this was actually pretty smart way to retcon that, even if it's stupid. It's pointless.
You could see that it's someone else's head. What I don't understand is like, oh, okay, she wanted to be certain, whatever, but like, come on, the guy's trying to kill her, so it's obviously Michael Myers and not an imposter.
Yeah, right? Because I know, because Jamie Lee Curtis had said that she had thought that up as well. That she said, okay, make believe that it was a ambulance worker and he had 3 kids and now she's crazy. And I was like, no way. Kevin Williamson probably thought that shit up and she's just taking, whatever. So anyway, she's all freaked out. She's actually preparing to wait for Michael Myers because she knew that she had killed that ambulance worker. It's great luck that Michael Myers found a guy who was like about 40 years old, right? He looked like a paunchy 40-year-old guy who looked exactly, I guess, the same height as him. And fit in
also
his
wears masks.
So Michael Myers took the time to take the jumpsuit off. When did Michael Myers ever need to
go incognito?
Trick people? Yeah. When did he ever have to trick someone?
When we ran out of ideas, we made him do that.
He had to take his whole complete jumpsuit off and wear another guy's suit.
He's probably totally naked under that jumpsuit, like.
Because you
He's
know
just
what
not
Michael
even
Myers
wearing like
usually...
underwear or anything. He's just like totally naked.
That shit stains on it. You know what Michael Myers does? Like, he walks away. Remember part 2 when he fell out the fucking window? He didn't fake somebody else's body. He just kind of left. That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He doesn't have to do a whole elaborate... But whatever. We're, picking apart something that's so stupid. So the film starts out with Michael Myers stalking Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode at this insane... Is it in the psychiatric ward? Sorry. And they repeat the whole fucking lifting himself, because I really thought that was so cool that, when he ascends from the ceiling,
like
the
a
one-armed
spider.
routine.
Yeah.
But it's so cheaply done in this one, it's not even worth it. Because I remember
There's a
watching
scene
the trailer
in the very beginning where he runs through a door and it goes to like slow motion or something. It looks so stupid.
Yeah, this
and
film
like the
is
the camera shakes, like it looks like an earthquake or something.
Oh, right, yeah, exactly. It's so... No, what was the part when he's breaking through the door, right? When he's trying to break through the door?
It's like the worst effect. Like, it's so
You could
stupid.
tell it was done in post-production, that it was a digital smashing of a door for him to come through the door. Because there's no human movement that moves like that. It's just... And we know we're talking about Michael Myers, but he's still a guy regardless. And it's like the worst effect of him breaking into a door. It's so fucking cheap. And he finds Laurie Strode. She fakes that she's an insane person. She knows she's been waiting for the whole time. She directly said, "I want to die in this film because I don't want to do this movie anymore." She says, "Unless there's a lot of a big money payday, she'll do it again." But eventually, Michael Myers fools her by making her think that he's another guy in another mask who's been literally the last second trying to kill her, so I don't know why she would think it was somebody else who's, hypnotized trying to kill her?
I mean, just to be safe, like, you're already in an insane asylum, so how much worse could it get? Stab the wrong person, then. That's fine, and then take the mask off.
Right, I mean, they're going to find... Well, I guess she doesn't know if the 2 other security guards that get killed in a rather boring fashion. One guy gets decapitated. I guess they both got decapitated, right?
There aren't that many great deaths in this, but I guess it's okay.
No, not at all. There's no real memorable death in this film at all. And it starts out with... why do you think he gave the knife to that fat guy who was, like, quoting all the serial killers? Was he to frame him or just to
I think he was framing him. I really do.
Yeah, but what does Michael Myers care? Like, it's like...
Because
has
it's
he framed
just stupid. I don't know.
He doesn't frame anybody else. And plus, if that's a psychiatric ward, like, those people had some pretty complex setup in their ward. There was a lot of shit in those rooms. I'd be like, I wouldn't want anybody to have any of this shit. Anyway, flash forward to a couple of weeks later, and it becomes a generic slasher film setup.
With, like, found footage, like, of the worst quality. And I mean, I like Busta Rhymes. I think he's a cool guy. His music videos are awesome, but he is a terrible actor. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. It was so funny because I remember this film, thinking that this film was sort of the Leprechaun in the Hood of its franchise, but I guess not really. I guess that must have been just my pure racism.
Leprechaun in the Hood is way better than this.
Oh, yes, it is. That's at least because, as you know, it's funny. But it fast forwards to, I guess, a couple weeks later to the next year of Halloween. Mm-hmm. And it has the introduction of the most generic cast of characters that we'd seen in any horror film.
You know what sucks is, like, Katie Sackhoff, or however you say her name? I mean, she's Starbuck, and,
yeah, I knew you would like...
Galactica, and, like, she's a great actress, and, like, they barely utilize her at all.
Yeah, I knew you would like this just for that, I guess. Not the movie, but I knew that you would like that she'd be in it, because I saw it and I was like, Katie Sackhoff's in this movie?
She's awesome. And then, like, the girl that plays Sarah is super hot, but she's not a very good actress at all, and I don't know.
Sarah is Bianca Kodlik. Yeah, she was in, I guess, in another show that I watched, which is like, what is that show? Damn, what the hell is that show called?
I don't know. I got a shitty internet connection right now.
It's some shitty sitcom on CBS, like Love Us Apart or some crappy show like that. And she's super hot now. Like, if you see her IMDb photo, she's like really hot now. I don't know how old she was here because she looks like she hasn't aged now. And anyway, she's the main character. Apparently, they had to dub in her screams because she can't scream, or it like kind of strains her voices. I'm sort of that way too.
What was
like,
the deal with the smashing the glass or scream? And...
Yeah, because that's supposed to show how powerful her scream is.
Yeah, but then they don't utilize it like at all. Like, I thought they would do something cool with it or something.
Yeah, the whole point of that is for her to scream is to have Busta Rhymes why he picks her for the film. I mean, for their show, their Dangertainment
They
web
couldn't have thought
show.
of something less stupid? I don't know. Whatever.
So the Daedrutainment is a web-run reality series. I guess they were gonna. I like the idea that they set up this whole house full of fake horrors and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, but you know that the cops would not allow that. Like, no way.
Well, it's kind of. I think so in a way because there used to be a show on MTV called Fear, where they would put these people in a like. It wasn't expressly stated what the fuck happens in the show. They only explain it like they only offhandedly explain it because there was a show on MTV called Fear where they would take 6 or 7 people just like this group and they would put them in insane asylums like old like rundown houses and stuff like that and they would give them objectives and like puzzles to solve and they would just it's basically what this movie is. It's what Fear was on MTV but it's not really explained. It's just like we're gonna put you in Michael Myers' house and that's it and like they don't say anything else like they. Only later do you find out, we're supposed to find out the origins of why he went insane. It's like, okay, thanks for saying that. Just nobody else says it in the fucking film. All you have is what's her name? Who's that hot chick?
Sarah? Oh,
no,
Tyra
no,
Banks?
no,
Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks. Like, she's in it for, like, no reason. She's hot. She had a death scene that you could tell they cut out because she's dead in the fucking latter half of the film. And you're like, why didn't they show her die?
Yeah, I was confused. I was confused about that.
Because Tyra Banks is not like a great actor either, but she's attractive to look at. Believe me.
She's like, I mean, I watch America's Top Model or whatever, and she's like one of the cheesiest people like in the world. Like she really like tries to be like Oprah or something, you know.
She has a new show I think called The Fab Life. There's just something kind of synthetic about her. I mean, she's really fucking hot, but there's something like really phony. Like there was a big thing about Tyra Banks when she was getting fat shamed or something like that, and there's like this hilarious rant of her screaming at I guess the press when they called her that she looked a little bit too heavy, and she was like, "You could kiss my fat ass," and she's like crying while doing this, and you're like, "Oh, this person's like a nut or something. Like, what the fuck's going on?"
Yeah, no, she's like a little. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't do that, and she's not fat at all, so I don't understand, but. Yeah,
well,
she's
you know
like
what I mean.
A little,
she's
fat.
I don't think she's fat either, but she's fat according to people that like fucking rail thin girls and shit like that. Which is, I guess, if whatever's your choice. But I mean, come on, leave people alone with that shit. So Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes head up this thing called Daedrutainment, where I guess this was something that they put their money into by having people go into Michael Myers' childhood home
and fuck with them, basically.
Yeah, so which I thought was alright, but it wasn't really explored. It was just kind of stupid, like fake bodies falling out of the walls and a child's chair that I guess had restraints on it. Like they were trying to make believe, Michael Myers was abused as a child, but it was more about they were faking, they were lying, and it's just like it. I guess that they had some sort of weird statement about reality TV. I guess,
and then that whole the whole side plot of this guy that is watching with all his high school friends or some shit and like has a crush on the girl and warning her with like that was kind of really stupid.
So she's talking to a guy who's called Deckard online, which I assume is a reference to that movie. What was that movie? That movie's called Deckard with Harrison Ford, who's a cyborg or whatever that fucking movie.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, that has to be a fucking Blade Runner reference, I assume. And I assume Busta Rhymes' name Freddy has to deal with Freddy Krueger, but I could be wrong. But
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I guess they threw in little references there, but what a not tribute to those references.
So Sarah is a generic kind of brunette lead character. She's just, I guess, she freaks out. I mean, we learn nothing about any of these characters. We only learn about really like Busta Rhymes' character, who to me is like the most entertaining character in the film. I remember before, I don't know why if I was like so like against this. I mean, it is a shitty movie. But I had like a real problem with Busta Rhymes in the movie when I was younger.
He's
just
fun
because
to watch.
It's
he's just a terrible actor.
Oh yeah, because I was like, why? Once they put like rap actors or any musician actors, like any musician at all, when they put it in a film, they're like playing to some sort of weird. Like, it's like they were playing up for African American crowds. Like black and Hispanics watch this fucking movie. They'll watch a Halloween. They love horror movies. I love horror movies. I'm Puerto Rican. I know. I remember you and I when we saw what was that movie we saw with the ghosts, Paranormal Activity, and there was that couple behind us. And whenever the character did something, the couple behind us would explain it to each other. Like the woman opened the door and she was like, "Oh, she's opened that door," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, I could watch it. I should have turned around and watched them tell me what the movie was. But I mean,
I think
I'm
that's
Puerto
like
Rican.
a
I go see
cool,
horror movies.
endearing sort of quality, though. It's kind of cute.
I almost wish that the movie had a all black and Hispanic cast. Like that would have been better because I bet you the characters would have been as fucking interesting as Busta Rhymes was. Because these other generic shithead characters like were horrible, and Busta
really
Rhymes
were.
was like terrible. But they gave him the most fucking stereotypical, like corny black guy shit where he like watching karate movies and shit like that, and like oh my god, and he uses the karate in the film too. I had a friend that
And then he dies, and then comes back, and is
yeah,
fine.
I had a friend who was a Dominican kid, and he was because he's obsessed with like Halloween and stuff, and you could have seen how offended he was with this movie. Like he fucking hated this movie because Busta Rhymes is doing karate. And I was like, because Busta Rhymes is doing karate fighting Michael Myers.
Well,
and
this is
know
like
they
totally not a horror movie. Like, there's no feeling of this being a horror movie to me.
No,
at
there's
all.
nothing intense or scary about it. Like when Busta Rhymes is like doing backflips and doing spin kicks and shit. You like, the movie theater. I mean, the movie company went up to him. They're like, "Oh, Buster, we want you to be in this movie." And he's like, "Okay, what do you got? What are you gonna do with the movie?" He goes, "We're gonna have you fight Michael Myers," and he's gonna, and he goes, "Oh shit," he's gonna be like that. And I like because Busta Rhymes, shit. When his music came out in the 2000s, holy shit, he literally is Show Nuff from The Last Dragon. If you ever seen, his music videos from the 90s are like the greatest music videos
I've seen
of all time.
his music videos are the best. They really were.
They're really
like,
fantastic.
I used to love them.
But his acting in this is terrible. I mean, there's what is that speech he gives at the end to the news reporters?
Oh, when
He's
he
like,
rips
Michael
the
Myers
camera
is
open,
like,
he's like, "This is how I feel," and then he rips the camera. Oh my god.
he's like, Michael Myers is a killer shark, white mask, jumpsuit wearing. I was like, what? What kind of line delivery is this? Terrible. And trust me, no other characters do any better. There's white characters in here that are fucking the fake scary psycho guy with the long hair, who I guess is supposed to be the creepy guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he's who the hell was that? Whoever the hell it was a white guy.
Luke
he
Kirby.
fucking
His
sucked.
name was Jim in the movie, I think.
He was like such a fucking cheap, like they were trying to do like a Charles Manson type character. It's so fucking stupid, shitty cat. All the white characters sucked in this movie. Everybody sucked in this movie. The only one that was likable besides like Busta Rhymes was the Sean William Scott,
Which
cook,
one was that?
the chef character, because he was like a nice guy, but they kill him too. Like they stab him through a fucking door and he's like floating. In
Oh
the air.
yeah.
I don't know how long a knife has to be that it goes through a person and a door.
It's gotta be at least like 1.5 feet or something.
And they even try to reference. I know they try to reference the first movie because he tilts his head looking at him. I was like, oh, this is so sad. This movie, and I mean they said like, oh, special guest Sean Williams. Now Sean William Scott is. Am I thinking? What the hell is his name? Yeah, Sean Patrick Thomas. Excuse me, is the character. Sean William Scott is somebody else. But Sean Patrick Thomas, I saw him in a lot of films. I don't remember what the fuck he is, but he was like
He's the one that's watching from the other house. Oh no, that's Deckard. Never mind.
No. He's the African American dude. He was like in Dracula 2000. He was in a bunch of shit I remember seeing as a kid. He was useless in this movie. He was likable, but then they killed him. I would have rather him survive than the main girl, because the main girl, they set it up like she's so important, but this movie moves so fast. Even though I had to like step away from it a couple times. Mm-hmm. That you really don't care about anybody in this movie. The only person who has
it did go fast. It wasn't too painful to watch.
The only person who had any weight to the role was Busta Rhymes. That's it, because he actually talked and he fought back. He wasn't like shitting his pants. And then they have that B storyline with Miles Barton, who the kid, him and his stupid friend on the internet, and they're going to a Halloween party and they're trying to make Pulp Fiction references. That fucking kid's friend, Miles' friend, Scott. I remember.
The beard?
Yeah, the white kid with the blonde hair. I remember watching this in the theater because I worked at a theater when this was playing, and his line delivery of like, "Nah, what are you doing?" I used to walk in for some reason every time he said that line, and I wanted to fucking blow the fucking screen up because I hated his delivery, because he was like such a. And I don't blame the actor. I mean, these are all shit lines that these characters have to say. And it's just like, oh man.
They probably said it really good, and then the director was like, no, say it more like this, and like got him to say it. Because it was just like,
it was all overhyped shit. It was just like, this line is gonna mean this is gonna mean that, and it's all for nothing. Like there's not this movie is not even a fraction of what the first movie was. There's no, I mean, where have you seen a Halloween tradition when you're a kid and you drop a pumpkin off in front of somebody's front yard? Like, where does that exist in reality? That's not real. And there's like the redhead character who's sort of semi-cute, the Daisy.
And then she's
McCracken
like having sex
Donna.
with the guy for no reason.
Yeah, she's the sexed up one. Jen, who's Katie Sackhoff, gets decapitated. I mean, it's all stupid bullshit. And then that kid there was a kid, I swear, from American Pie, I think. I'm not sure, but he's another like useless character. And I was like, it was all bad. I mean, you just see people get killed, and they're mostly killed off a screen until the ending, like. Because Michael Myers like pops up. The only thing that I thought was neat when Busta Rhymes was dressed up as Michael Myers, and like he starts walking into the room, and then Michael Myers starts following him in. So I thought,
I don't think there was any point where I really liked the movie at all. The only parts where Busta Rhymes was doing karate, but only because it was so stupid.
Because it was I liked when Busta Rhymes was dressed up as Michael Myers, cursing at him, but it was like the worst acting. Because it's just, and I would rather watch that kind of movie. If Michael Myers is dead, I'd rather have like an angry Michael Myers just saying cursing at people exactly like that.
You're right.
Because the mask looked stupid too in this one. I don't know. There's something about a Michael Myers mask. Like, why? I don't know whether they're afraid of getting sued for using what's his name, Captain Kirk's face in the rest of the films. Oh. But his mask it doesn't look as bad as part 7. There's also, I guess, his mask in part 4 that looked like dog shit.
What do you think that guy thinks of that? The actor, I can't think of his name. You know, the guy
Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk.
You think he feels weird about that?
No, he probably got some money for it. I'm sure because he was in some other horror film. I guess where they made the mask from. I guess they made the template from that movie, and it looks just like the Mike. It was a movie from the 70s or the early 80s. I think it was from the 70s. Where it was like a possession film. And he gets possessed and his eyes go black, and it's basically the Michael Myers mask that we see later on. So I mean, it's like actually very disturbing because like, oh, that looks like Michael Myers, and you're like, oh no, that's just his face with prosthetics on
face.
it. But the movie is it's really bad. The B story with the kids watching from another room, the internet connection with this really ultra slow him texting her, and it's not like a text where the word comes on screen. It's like every letter individually comes up on the screen.
Yeah,
I don't remember ever having text
existing?
like that.
Did that ever exist?
I've never had that. Like whenever I text somebody, it's always just been a word straight to screen. It's never been.
I mean, this was in 2002, so maybe that's like obsolete or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a really bad movie, and it's what the worst thing you can do with Halloween. Instead of having mood and scariness, it just becomes a generic slasher. This is what they were moving. Because Halloween 7 was a generic slasher, and then this really is a generic slasher. Like, it's even subpar.
I mean, it just reconfirms my idea that these movies are kind of stupid. Because I've seen, like, every Jason, and they're all, like, entertaining to me. Like, even the worst ones are, like, fun to watch.
It's like... Because Kevin Williamson, I guess, was a big deal in the day, obviously, because he had written Scream. So he kind of tapped in the right way to make a smart sort of horror film. I don't remember H2O being anything smart. But this one
smart
is just
not a word I would use to describe this movie.
This is like, I still know what you did last summer level of, like... And I didn't even watch that movie, but I know it's dog shit. And you know what I mean? It's just a boring, bland...
I actually did see it, but I don't remember it, so it's probably bad.
And it's just a boring, bland entry into the series. But then again, like, to me, my favorite Halloween movies are Halloween 1 and 3, so go figure that out. Anyway, with that, my rating would be I guess I'm looking at 4.1 on the IMDb, and I guess I agree. It's a 4 out of 10. Digitally smashing into a door because, you know, you're just using a POV shot that was still and just adding effects to make it like you're breaking the door down.
Shaking it so it looks like an earthquake.
It was really awful.
It really was. I'm gonna give this a 2.5 out of 10. Looking like you have to poop, and holding that face as a knife impales you to a door and holds you there.
Also, one thing I always remember from this film was Busta Rhymes' final line to Michael Myers' burnt face. He says, "You look like some chicken fried motherfucker," and I was like, "Oh boy." Just as bad as I thought it was. It was actually less worse than I thought it was, but it's still a horrible line. So with that, Danny, what's the final word?
1414.
The horror deconstruction.